I remember being in Guernsey a few years ago, and Guernsey have their own language there, which is sort of, got real problems really. And I asked one of the younger, I think one of the younger native speakers, but they would be in their 70s really, what differentiates from the Isle of Man from Guernsey. And one of the things they said was, we've never had anyone like Brian Stowell.
Right, yeah.
And I think they also mentioned you as well. So,
oh gosh,
more, yeah, don't know in a good or a bad way.
Yes, but, that's probably probably for the best.
But Brian, the key thing Brian did was just do stuff, really, rather than sitting around and talking stuff. And I always remember talking to him about certain aspects of the languages. You just get on, just crack out and get on with it. Teach it, learn it, speak it, teach it, get involved. So he was, a one-man band in a way, just producing enormous amounts of output, whether it be books, CDs, doing lessons, etc. And again, with no real ego behind him, I don't think. Just did it because it was the correct stuff to do. And I know Culture Van, and the last things I was doing last week was, setting in motion his autobiography, which he finished just before Christmas, and that in Manx. And that's been an amazing publication. And just, his whole life sort of,
And the great thing, I think, about Brian, too, was he didn't fight necessarily against people he didn't agree with. He just blithely ignored them. So, I mean, there's this, there were quite, well, I mean, there are always, aren't there? There are sort of purists and enthusiasts who want to sort of study to the nth degree every aspect of the language, and they treat it perhaps as more of a kind of a purist academic exercise, whereas Brian viewed it very much as, I'm trying to ensure that this language lives.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, all this stuff on the periphery is very interesting, but I'm more interested in churning out words so that people can actually have words and vocabulary to use in everyday situations. And that